Have you ever looked at your lab results, high blood sugar, creeping cholesterol, rising blood pressure, and felt as if your own body were slowly slipping out of your hands? Tonight, we will gently walk into that fear together. Guided by the ideas from Dr. Mark Hyman's book, The Pegan Diet, we will explore how food can either fuel metabolic chaos or quietly rebuild balance, one meal, one bite, one decision at a time. Metabolic syndrome is not a single disease, but a storm of small imbalances. A larger waist, high triglycerides, low HDL cholesterol, elevated blood pressure, and elevated fasting sugar. Alone, each seems tame. Together, they quietly raise the risk of heart disease, stroke, and type 2 diabetes. It can feel like a slow-motion emergency, a house whose foundation is cracking long before the walls fall. If you have been told you have prediabetes, fatty liver, or metabolic syndrome, fear may be your daily companion. Yet fear alone cannot heal. The Pegan approach offers a plan, not perfection, using food as information, not just calories. Every forkful sends messages to your cells, either soothing inflammation and balancing sugar, or pouring gasoline on the fire. This journey is about learning a new language of food and hope. Pegan sounds strange, like a made-up word, and it is. It blends the best of two worlds: paleo, focusing on whole, unprocessed foods, and vegan, rich in plants. Imagine a plate where vegetables dominate, healthy fats support, and clean proteins accompany, not overwhelm. No rigid tribe, no food religion, just a flexible, science-informed way to calm blood sugar, tame insulin, and quiet inflammation. In the next scenes, we will quietly uncover the one type of carbohydrate that plays with your blood sugar like a roller coaster, the silent oils that stiffen your arteries, and the small daily plate shifts that can tip your labs in a new direction. We will end with a simple Pegan-style day of eating. Stay until the final scene. Somewhere in this story may be the turning point your body has been waiting for. Think of insulin as a key. When you eat, especially carbohydrates, your pancreas releases this key to unlock your cells and let sugar in for energy. But years of sugary drinks, white flour, and constant snacking can blunt the locks. The key still comes, but the doors no longer open well. This is insulin resistance, the engine of metabolic syndrome revving loudly, burning fuel inefficiently, and wearing down faster. Added sugars are like charming strangers who overstay their welcome. At first, they bring pleasure and quick energy. But inside, excess sugar spikes insulin, pushes the liver to create more fat, and stores weight around the abdomen. Research links high added sugar intake with increased triglycerides and lower HDL, the exact pattern of metabolic syndrome. The Pegan message is not never sugar, but respect its power. Not all carbohydrates behave the same. Refined carbs, white bread, pastries, many breakfast cereals, are like paper tossed into a fire. They burn hot and vanish fast, leaving blood sugar crashing. Fiber-rich carbs, vegetables, beans, low-sugar fruits are more like slow-burning logs. The Pegan plate shifts away from flour-based foods and toward whole plants, using fiber to slow glucose, calm insulin, and steady your energy curve. For years, many of us feared fat and embraced low-fat, high-sugar products. Yet our waistlines grew, and metabolic syndrome spread. Healthy fats, like those in nuts, olive oil, avocados, and wild fish, can actually improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, and support satiety. The Pegan approach warns not against fat itself, but against poor quality fats, especially man-made trans fats, and some refined seed oils. Metabolic syndrome is more than numbers on a chart. It is a low, steady fire inside blood vessels, liver, and fat tissue. This chronic inflammation makes arteries less flexible, insulin less effective, and organs more vulnerable. Ultra-processed foods, excess sugar, and certain oils fuel this flame. Antioxidant-rich vegetables, omega-3 fats, and colorful plant compounds act like gentle rain, slowly cooling the inner fire. Our genes are ancient, shaped over millennia by real foods, roots, leaves, wild fish, nuts. Yet in only a few decades, ultra-processed foods, refined sweeteners, and chemically extracted oils have flooded our plates. The Pegan lens asks, does this belong in a human body or in a laboratory? When industrial food meets ancient biology, metabolic syndrome often appears as the painful negotiation between the two. Insulin does not work alone. Ghrelin whispers, I am hungry. Leptin signals, I am full. Cortisol reacts to stress, and many more hormones join a constant symphony. In metabolic syndrome, this music becomes disordered. Hunger arrives too often, fullness signals fade, stress hormones stay high. Pagan eating, rich in protein, fiber, and healthy fats, helps restore rhythm, so your hormones again play in tune, not in chaos. Imagine waking up tired, grabbing a sweet coffee and pastry, only to crash mid-morning. Lunch is fast food, dinner a heavy takeout meal. This is a typical day of insulin resistance, repeated sugar surges, followed by abrupt drops, driving cravings, and fatigue. Lab tests may call it prediabetes, fatty liver, or metabolic syndrome. The Pegan shift asks, how could the same day look if your plate spoke kindly to your hormones instead? Perhaps your parents or grandparents had diabetes or heart disease. It may feel as though your fate is sealed, yet research in nutrigenomics suggests that genes are not a rigid script, but a draft. Environment and food choices can switch genes on or off. As Dr. Hyman often emphasizes, genes load the gun, but environment pulls the trigger. Pegan eating is one way of easing your finger gently off that trigger. Picture your plate as a canvas. At least half, often more, is filled with non-starchy vegetables, leafy greens, crucifers, colorful peppers. A palm-sized portion of clean protein, such as wild fish, pasture-raised eggs, or plant proteins, stands by. Then a modest serving of slow carbs, maybe beans or a small portion of whole grains, and a drizzle of healthy fat. Simple, beautiful, and deeply metabolic friendly. In the Pegan world, vegetables are not side dishes. They are medicine. Their fibers feed gut bacteria that help manage blood sugar and inflammation. Their phytochemicals, like sulforaphane in broccoli or quercetin in onions, act as tiny biochemical messengers, telling your body to detoxify better and protect blood vessels. Every color on your plate is a different healing signal sent to your metabolism. Protein is the anchor that helps keep your blood sugar C from becoming too stormy. Adequate protein with meals slows glucose absorption, improves satiety, and supports muscle mass, critical for better insulin sensitivity. Pagan eating values quality, wild fish, pasture-raised poultry, eggs, and also plant proteins like lentils, chickpeas, and tofu for those who lean more plant-based. Omega-3 fats from fish and some seeds, monounsaturated fats from olives and avocados, these are like high-quality fuel for a delicate engine. Studies associate them with improved triglycerides, better HDL, and less inflammation. In contrast, trans fats and some highly processed vegetable oils are like dirty fuel that clog filters. The Pegan focus is clear. Choose fats that nature made, not those refined in distant factories. In the Pegan pattern, carbohydrates are not banned. They are chosen with care. Low glycemic fruits such as berries, apples, and pears, along with lentils, beans, and modest portions of whole grains, provide fiber and nutrients without the severe spikes. The goal is a gentle rolling hill of blood sugar through the day, not a series of mountains and valleys that leave you exhausted and craving more. In the Pegan diet, dairy and gluten are treated with cautious curiosity. Some people tolerate them well, others experience bloating, inflammation, or worsened blood sugar. For metabolic syndrome, an experiment may be helpful, temporarily reducing or removing them while increasing other whole foods, then observing changes. Such changes should be planned with a physician or nutrition professional who knows your medical history. It is easy to feel that nothing will change unless everything changes. Yet, metabolism responds even to small, consistent shifts. One Pegan-aligned plate filled with vegetables, quality protein, and healthy fat can produce steadier blood sugar and a different hormonal response than a processed meal. Over weeks, these plates add up like daily deposits into a savings account of health. After a night's fast, your first meal whispers instructions to your metabolism. A sugary breakfast cereal shouts, "Prepare for a glucose surge." In contrast, a Pegan-style breakfast, perhaps eggs with sautéed greens and avocado, or chia pudding with nuts and berries, invites calm. Protein, fiber, and fat combine to stabilize blood sugar and reduce mid-morning crashes. Midday is your chance to renew your metabolic shield. A Pegan-style lunch might be a large salad with mixed greens, colorful vegetables, grilled salmon or chickpeas, olives, and a simple olive oil dressing. The textures and colors are not just beautiful, they deliver fiber, phytonutrients, healthy fats, and protein to support a steady afternoon instead of a post-lunch crash. As evening approaches, your body prepares for rest and repair. Heavy, late meals high in refined carbs can keep insulin elevated into the night, disturbing sleep and fat burning. A Pegan dinner might center on roasted vegetables, a portion of clean protein, and herbs and spices instead of sugary sauces. Light but nourishing, it supports nighttime healing rather than metabolic overload. Snacking can either help or hinder metabolic healing. Constant grazing on refined carbs keeps insulin high, making it harder for the body to access stored fat. Yet, for some people with metabolic syndrome, well-timed snacks of nuts, seeds, or cut vegetables can prevent blood sugar dips. The Pegan view. Prioritize satisfying meals so you need fewer snacks, and choose whole food options when you do. Sugary drinks are among the quickest ways to invite insulin resistance. The body absorbs liquid sugar rapidly, causing sharp spikes in blood sugar and insulin. Even fruit juices, advertised as natural, can behave this way when fiber is removed. The Pegan approach leans on water, herbal teas, and occasionally unsweetened coffee or tea, using whole fruits rather than juices to satisfy a sweet taste. If you feel controlled by cravings, know this: it is not a weakness, but biology. Repeated sugar exposure can alter brain reward pathways, making sweet foods more compelling. Fluctuating blood sugar and poor sleep intensify this pull. The Pegan path reduces cravings by stabilizing blood sugar with protein and fiber, and by healing taste buds over time, so subtle sweetness in berries starts to feel satisfying again. Nighttime snacking often has little to do with true hunger. Fatigue, loneliness, or stress can call us toward the refrigerator's light. For someone with metabolic syndrome, these extra calories, often refined, can worsen insulin resistance. Pegan strategies include satisfying dinners, herbal teas as rituals, and non-food comfort, reading, stretching, deep breathing, to honor emotions without punishing the body. You could eat a perfect Pegan meal, yet still struggle if stress floods your body daily. Cortisol, the main stress hormone, raises blood sugar and can promote abdominal fat. Chronic stress turns every meal into a different metabolic event. Simple practices, slow breathing before eating, short walks, or brief meditation can lower cortisol, allowing your Pegan choices to work more smoothly. Poor sleep is like whispering to your hormones, "Be confused tomorrow." Just one short night can raise hunger hormone ghrelin and lower satiety hormone leptin. Over time, sleep loss raises diabetes risk. For those with metabolic syndrome, prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep magnifies the benefits of Pegan eating, giving the body time to repair blood vessels, balance hormones, and restore insulin sensitivity. Food is central, but not solitary. Muscles act as powerful glucose sponges, pulling sugar from blood without needing as much insulin. Regular movement, walking, resistance training, dancing, improves insulin sensitivity and can lower blood pressure and triglycerides. The Pegan message is not extreme athletics, but consistent, joyful movement that your joints and heart can sustain over years. Imagine a patient returning to their doctor after 3 months. Once their labs showed high triglycerides, elevated fasting sugar, and a growing waist. Now their numbers have modestly improved, blood pressure is slightly lower, energy is higher. They did not follow a crash diet. They simply followed Pegan-style plates most days. These stories do not promise miracles, but they reveal what consistent food choices can gently do. Perhaps you recognize the moment. Climbing stairs leaves you breathless, your belt notch moves outward again, and you feel oddly old in a still young body. For many, this quiet shock becomes the turning point. The Pegan journey often begins not with perfection, but with noticing realizing that the way you eat either sharpens or dulls your future, moment by small moment. Changing how you eat is difficult when your environment whispers temptations. A Pegan-aligned kitchen detox might mean gradually clearing out sodas, sugary cereals, refined snacks, and replacing them with nuts, seeds, vegetables, herbs, and simple proteins. It is not about shame, but about setting your future self up for easier choices when willpower feels thin. The modern food label becomes a language you can learn. In the Pegan mindset, you scan for added sugars, refined flours, long, unpronounceable ingredients, and poor quality oils. If sugar is near the top, or if there are many forms, like corn syrup, maltodextrin, fructose, you pause. This simple habit, practiced calmly, can dramatically reduce the metabolic burden on your body. Restaurants can feel like minefields when you are healing metabolism, yet Pegan principles can still guide you. Prioritize vegetables, ask for dressings and sauces on the side, choose grilled or baked proteins over fried, and swap fries for salad or extra vegetables. You are not chasing perfection, only better options that keep your metabolic ship roughly on course. One of the hardest parts of Pegan-style eating is not the food, but the looks and comments from others. Just one piece won't hurt. Or, why are you being so strict? These moments can sting. Remember, they do not feel your fatigue or see your lab results. Your choices are an act of quiet self-respect, not a judgment of anyone else's plate. When healing from metabolic syndrome, perfectionism can be as dangerous as neglect. One slip, an impulsive dessert, a late-night binge, can trigger shame and the thought, I ruined everything. The Pegan philosophy invites compassion. No body is healed in a straight line. Each new meal is a chance to step again toward balance, regardless of yesterday's choices. While weight may change during Pegan eating, it is only one measure. For metabolic syndrome, other markers matter deeply: waist size, blood pressure, fasting glucose, triglycerides, HDL cholesterol, and how you feel day to day. Over months, even small shifts, a belt hole tighter, less afternoon fatigue, can signal that your internal chemistry is quietly changing. If you already take medications for blood pressure, cholesterol, or blood sugar, Pegan-style changes should be made in partnership with your care team. As your metabolism responds, medication needs may shift. For your safety, any adjustments to diet, activity, or medications should be discussed with your physician or qualified healthcare provider who understands your personal situation. Your lab results, A1C, fasting glucose, triglycerides, HDL, tell a story about how your body has been treated over time. They are not a life sentence, but a snapshot. Pegan eating gives you tools to influence the next chapter. Tracking labs with your clinician every few months can feel like reading new pages in a book you are slowly rewriting. You do not need to redesign your life in one day. Start with swaps: soda to sparkling water with lemon, white rice to cauliflower rice or quinoa, sugary yogurt to unsweetened yogurt with berries and nuts. Each swap gently shifts your glycemic load and inflammatory burden. These small daily edits are how the Pegan script slowly overwrites the fast food script in your body. A cutting board, knife, and pan can be as transformative as a prescription pad. Learning a few basic Pegan recipes, roasted vegetables, simple stir-fries, hearty salads, homemade dressings, gives you independence from ultra-processed convenience foods. Each meal you cook is like another vote for your future metabolic health. Trillions of gut microbes respond to what you eat each day. Diets high in fiber and variety of plants, like the Pegan pattern, support microbes that help regulate blood sugar, produce beneficial short-chain fatty acids, and reduce inflammation. Ultra-processed, low-fiber diets nurture less helpful species. Feeding your gut flora well is like hiring a microscopic health team inside your intestines. Ginger, turmeric, cinnamon, garlic, rosemary, these are not just flavors, but subtle metabolic allies. Research links some spices like cinnamon to modest improvements in blood sugar control, while turmeric and ginger show anti-inflammatory properties. In the Pegan kitchen, spices and herbs turn simple ingredients into fragrant healing meals without relying on sugar or heavy sauces. Alcohol adds extra calories, can raise triglycerides, disturb sleep, and affect liver function, key issues in metabolic syndrome. Some people can include small amounts, while others do better by avoiding alcohol altogether. In a Pegan context, the emphasis is on mindful, minimal use, if any, while prioritizing liver-friendly foods and habits. Discuss your alcohol use honestly with your physician for personalized guidance. Dr. Hyman often discusses nutrients like magnesium, omega-3s, vitamin D, and others that can influence metabolic health. Yet, in Pegan thinking, supplements support but never replace whole foods. Before starting new supplements, especially if you have metabolic syndrome, kidney disease, or take medications, consult your physician or a knowledgeable healthcare provider to avoid harmful interactions. Imagine one full Pegan-style day. Breakfast of eggs with spinach, tomatoes, and avocado. Lunch of a big salad with beans, seeds, and olive oil. A handful of nuts as a snack. Dinner of roasted vegetables with grilled fish and herbs. Water and herbal tea throughout. Not perfect, just real, colorful, and satisfying. This is how metabolic healing feels. Not like deprivation, but like nourishment. As we near the end, ask yourself, what is one gentle step you can take this week? Perhaps adding one extra serving of vegetables a day, or replacing one sugary drink with water. Metabolic syndrome did not arrive overnight. It came through repeated patterns. Those patterns can be rewritten, beginning with one small, sustainable Pegan-inspired choice at a time. Your body may feel tired, your labs may be worrisome, yet your cells still listen carefully to every message you send through food, sleep, movement, and stress. The Pegan ideas from Dr. Mark Hyman offer not a rigid diet, but a path toward calmer blood sugar, less inflammation, and renewed energy. Before making big changes, please consult your physician. If this journey resonated with you, please subscribe, like this video, and share it with someone who may need hope. And starting with your very next meal, choose one action that your future self will quietly thank you for.